And it is another morning in America as the sun rises over the funeral home here on Chapman Highway. It is the site of my former squat here. Still haven't found out what this is or what this was, but I sort of liked it, you know. I thought it was cool. You know, it was one of those few times, you know, on the road that I thought this is really cool for like a natty daddy, you know, like a gay old man. It's like, this is really cool place to squat, you know, because you got like, and I would always sleep here, you know, um, allowing boys like drive up service, you know, and I was in the handicap lane, you know, the disabled lane, and so you know the boys could drive up if they want to, you know, show off their car, and for those who are without a car, we had backdoor service, so to speak, here, you know, behind the building. There was rooms. I was sort of proud of this squat because it allowed me to drink and to be peaceful and to be quiet, and I would never solicit anybody. Nobody ever really came close, that being the sidewalk there. So, you know, if they were interested, they'd let me know, but nobody sort of let me know. So, never got any business. Couldn't figure out why for some reason. But anyways, I found this place here on Chapman Highway after being routed by a pair of brothers, I think. And these nasty looking dudes, about 30, 35 years old. And I'll tell you, you want to talk nasty dudes? These guys had like swastikas on their foreheads. I mean, they had like, you know, they were Trump supporters, you know. These dudes, both of them, and they looked alike, so they were brothers, I think. So one evening they came by and sort of routed me from my Hardee's location down there, across from the auto shop. And so these tatted faced people, you know, it's like, you know, so I came down here and eventually found this place, you know, and I was, you know, I thought, oh, hey, it's an upgrade, you know. You got the funeral home there, which I thought was cool. You got whatever this was, and a handicap parking that's not a drive-through. You don't drive through it. You park there, you know, which, you know, in today's, you know, pandemic world with Burger King and Dunkin' Donuts, you know, it's odd because there's always a drive-through. You know, you just don't park in handicap. You drive through everything. So I thought it cool here on Chapman Highway. Anyways, on September 20th, I'm doing the natty daddy thing about 5 o'clock or so. And ironically, a guy about my age, 50 years old or so, comes up from the sidewalk here, you know, says, you mind if I stop and rest here, have a cigarette? I'm there, fine, I don't care, just don't bother me, you know. And then you got this young couple that came by, and they picked up the hypodermic needles over there on the far side there, opposite the handicap, and you know, I've seen that before. They're not You know, it's like, oh, look, it's drug addict time. You know, it's like, no, it ain't. It's, you know, look what we don't do. You know, that kind of thing. It's empty needles, without needles, actually. It's just the hypodermic thing. I've seen it before. Boston, I think I saw it. You know, it's like, you know, it's supposed to be cool. You know, it's like, oh, doing drugs here, you know, instead of at home. Anyway, so, you know, it's like they're not bothering anybody. This man is not bothering anybody. And along comes one of the Hanson brothers up the road here. And he decides he's going to clean house, I guess, here in the along Chapman Highway. So, you know, he comes up and, you know, it's the couple take off, and my peer there continues to lie and smoke a cigarette that he got from the couple. And there's no problem with the neo-Nazi with either of those parties, but with me, it's like, hey, this man is drinking beer. So he proceeds to grab my bag and take off with it. Okay? And I'm like, ugh. So I'm running after him. And, you know, it's like, you know, he's like, come on. He's like, you know, 30 years old, 35, you know. And I've had a beer or two. So he starts taking off, and he starts running up here. All right. And I'm like, you know, I can't keep up. And I know that. So I start like pleading with him. You know, it's like, hey, you know, it's like, you're robbing from a homeless man. You know, you're taking the bag of a homeless man, dude. It's like, you know, but he's too righteous, I suppose. And so he's, you know, he that like spurred him on. So it's, you know, if anything, it didn't dissuade him. It's just made him more righteous. You know. And I'm chasing, and he's got everything I own. All right, and he, you know, he doesn't care. So he gets up here. No soliciting, no trespassing. Neighborhood watch. Chapman Square Apartments. And he gets up here. And he disappears here among the buildings here. Just having stolen from a homeless man. A 60-year-old homeless man, mind you. And disappeared among the projects here. Now, with that said, personally, I would not have settled on that squat like I did if I knew the projects were behind me. Because, you know, I know the ignorance and the righteousness that all these poor people and all these humble people can get, you know, especially with a man drinking. So I never would have squatted there in the first place. But, anyways, this neo-Nazi, righteous defender of mom and her homeland, taught me a lesson that day. And despite the $200-300 I had to pay, thank you, family, once again, to get belongings restored to me. That gentleman taught this old homeless man a lesson that day. Stay away from projects.